If you want to take a casual day driving on Scotland Road, there is no better game than Dirt Rally 2.0. Although it might be annoying that some guy named Phil keeps talking about some corners. He do be right most of the time.
50. Keep left of a jump. And keep right into caution. 6 left of a long of a jump. Tightens 4. Into 3 right long.
IGN would not listen again. If you prefer older rally games, just turn the graphics on lowest settings. Spicy. You can also stay cheeky breaky or breaks squeaky. You can try playing with keyboard. Recommended for the craziest. Okay, let's try it with this Audi Quattro S1 super fast bad boy. Keyboard controls have successfully uninvented responsiveness of any kind. Car feels like soap, and soap is not known for good handling, although it is usually aerodynamical. No peaceful vegetation, gotta go fast. Oh shit, people almost dead.
40.
Rock no good. Now it also seems like it uninvented steering. Still could be worse. One could almost say that this is the upcoming story of a soap driver who is delivering soap to families in Finland, like I would name it Initial S or EA Soapman. It's in the soap.
6 left of a jump. 70. 3 right, tightens of a crest. 100.
Turning was simply never an option.
In of a crest. Opens. Extra long. Tightens of a crest.
Now the doors are broken. That I take as a strong resemblance with soap, because soap also doesn't have working doors.
4 right. Very long of a crest. Opens. Keep middle of a crest.
And now I have successfully locked all brakes and crashed into rocks. One could say we are back on the rocks, but we will pull through, because we are not made out of sugar, we are made out of soap.
Keep middle of a jump.
Now the jumps, with stuff like precise and smooth turning not being an option, we are going to have to improvise.
50, flat middle of a big jump, and flat jump 100, flat left to jump.
Survival was simply never an option. This will have huge consequences for the families of Finland, because now they are out of soap, and it's the keyboard that made that happen. Think about that whenever you play a game with your keyboard.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm now going to give you basic valuable information required for successfully delivering soap and becoming the next soapman. Obtain yourself a gamepad or a wheel, unless you want to die in tragic soap-related death. Next, make sure you set it up correctly, just like your favorite soap. You can look at my settings, but everyone has different soap preferences. Do not forget about force feedback, if your controller supports it, because just like with your soap, you want to feel when it's being pushed to its limit. It's also not a bad idea to pick a slower car, because every soapman has to start somewhere. I recommend Artwood car. Drive bit around to get the feel for the car. Since this is a front wheel drive, oversteer will never occur, thus you will always see what you are crashing into. That's called understeer. You should now pick assists, and your preferred transmission. You should decide, based on your soap skills. If you use manual shifting with your soap and shower, then you can pick either sequential or H pattern with clutch or not. If you decide to select automatic transmission, go with semi-automatic, because this way you can directly alter gears. Thus, if your car selects wrong gear, it won't stop you from going cheeky breaky or brakes squeaky. No time for punctured wheelie. You need to keep your car balanced through every corner, because if you upset it, it will kill you just like your soap. Also, adding increasing steering angle just makes understeering worse, and chance of meeting a tree greater. Depending on surface you should decide whether taking a proper racing line is worth it, because sometimes it's all sliddy wheelie automobile on the sides of the road. Pace notes are the corners Phil keeps talking about. They are ranked from 1 to 6. 6 is a speedy corner with little input required. 1 is the squeaky wheelie one. Phil also says distances between corners sometimes in words, sometimes in numbers. The numbers are meters, because we trust in SoAp, not in God.
30.
Also callouts like hairpin, up, inch and square can be found in Phil's limited vocabulary.
Opens and slow.
Hairpin is a corner that turns 180 degrees, square is a 90-degree corner, up inch is between 90 and 180 degrees.
Right long, opens 50.
You can also witness Phil saying tightens and opens. That means that the corner exit either opens or tightens. If he says opens, you can expect more room to throttle through all speedy speed boy.
Left long, tightens, keep in. 50.
Phil also can tell you how long the corner is. Spoiler, it's either short or long. Or Phil's favorite, extra long. Phil is also capable of telling you words jump and crest. Jump is when your car goes so speedy that it becomes an airplane. Crest is just loss of some grip due to the uplifting effect, just like sniffing soap. Sometimes when Phil is not sure, he says jump maybe. As mentioned in Pace Note Guide, you can find yourself in a situation where road is not perfect and spicy boys like jumps, crests and cambers can show up. In case of jumps, you need to account with loss of traction due to being airborne, so you should try to aim a car, calculate the ballistics to land properly positioned to take on what is after the jump. Also, heavy braking is not recommended, because just like with SoAp, you will move all the weight to the front of the car and that could cause a flip. These skills are not used very often in relation to SoAp, but proper SoAp warrior should know them. Here you can see that through swift input to the right, the car keeps a good position during the flight, which is crucial, so that you can prevent jet lag that could cause insomnia. After the jump, thanks to this thing called gravity, you will get more grip because the tires are more pushed to the ground. It is also important to understand whether your car tends to understeer or oversteer. You can see that this Subaru Impreza S4 Spicy Boy tends to understeer a little. That means that my input into the corner has to be more aggressive, and in case of our RTWOE class, it has to be even more aggressive, because the car will want to go back to straight line, which in this case would result in terrible meeting with tree and potential loss of SoAp, and that is unacceptable. Now the SoAp of SoAp's the big boy. If you aim wrong, you die in a more than horrible SoAp accident, and no one is going to rescue you because they won't have the SoAp needed for rescue. While not perfect, the SoAp is okay, so am I. Cambers are a lot easier to handle. Essentially, they are places where road is angled either toward the corner or outwards. Towards is cool and good, and you want to use it. You are basically transforming your energy into grip, and that's a good trade. Outwards is warm and bad, avoided at all costs, like poorly educated SoAp dealers. Here, for example, if you would not take the camber, you would go off into Australian wilderness. SoAp is not a natural inhabitant of Australian wilderness. Let's talk about crests. Those duckos can duck you up good if you don't pay attention to Phil. Just remember that you have less grip than normal. You should know that you can usually use the rising part of the crest for more turning to be done there, rather than on the falling part. It's like jump, except no one is going to post it on YouTube. There is also a thing called dip. It's crest just inverted, so less grip at start and more at the end of the dip. On dirt, power sliding is the fastest way around a corner because your tires bite into the dirt, resulting in more grip, just like driving on SoAp, except more grip and a lot less okay for showering with. This strategy works best with four-wheel drives and rear-wheel drives. It can also be initiated by transferring the weight of the car from one corner to another. By braking, you can move the weight in front of the car, thus you can get the back of the car around a corner easier. It is very useful for hairpins. cutting corners. This is a sometimes dangerous, but very effective way how to deal with a corner by not taking it at all and just cutting through the grass. You can see it done here. Or a little cheekier breakier one. As you can see, it is really effective but dangerous. Since you are breaking the flow of corners, just watch this soapy boy. He got lucky, but think about the boxes of soap in the boot. Do you think they feel lucky? Choice of tires is just as important as choice of right soap, and just like with soap, you will almost always pick soft tires, because usually in career mode all events have only 3 stages between service time, thus only rarely you should pick medium tires, for example, if there would be 3 long stages on very rough gravel. I personally have never used hard tires or hard soap, because there was never a need for it. This is the last part of this very basic and mildly mediocre guide to deliver soap in a reasonable time to families in all 13 countries around the world, according to Dirt Rally 2.0. But the most important skill is the consistency of your driving. It doesn't matter how fast can you go if only 1 out of 10 soaps makes it to the families. Best advice here is to just drive, starting slowly and getting faster. After some time you should see some improvement. Soap is crucial economical commodity. It moves the world, it builds bridges, it
even works underwater
and feeds the poor. If they are really hungry, soap should never be forgotten. While some people believe in God, it is important to know that human may have been made out of dirt, but God could have been made out of soap, so there is no excuse to convert to believing in soap instead of God. This is what you should take away from this video. Shalom.